Hey guys, welcome back to Black Lotus Gaming, and today we're going to be looking at my pre-con upgrade guide for the Eldrazi Incursion deck from Modern Horizons 3. This is the non-budget version, and we're going to be going through, I took out 15 cards and added 15 more, and I played with this deck, and it can really get crazy, and I played with the upgraded version. And there's a lot of room to upgrade here, so we did change out 15. And if you want this deck list, I believe it will be in the description of the video. I'll try to put it down there, but if not, that'll be right. Also, sorry I wasn't able to, unfortunately I wasn't able to do the unboxing of this deck in the video, but yeah, this guide will be pretty cool, and yeah, let's get into it. First up, we have Cavern of Souls, just because it's great. You don't want stuff to be countered, and why not? You know, it's a cool card. Like I said, this is the non-budget version because it's almost $300 for the added cards, and yeah, it's quite a bit, but it's a super cool upgrade, and it's really cool. So Cavern of Souls, just not letting your stuff get countered and getting any color they can enter untapped is really powerful. And yeah, and next we have Darksteel Monolith. This is a really great card, especially in colorless decks. Well, in any colorless decks, because you're basically getting free things for free. So I can get 12/12 or 9/9 for free. That can be really useful and just really cool. And this one, we're gonna have more words. Echoes of Eternity is a crazy new card. It's basically, it doubles your triggers and it doubles your spells. It's basically a second commander without needing to pay the mana. And one thing you might notice about this is it's an Eldrazi also. So if you can pay the 2, you will get 2 of these, and that's gonna, I don't know, it goes crazy with that. This is a card you always want to find. And you always want to be able to copy it if you can, because this is just crazy. Because, yeah, I believe if you have 2 of these out from copying it, and say I played this, the 12/12 or 11/11 over here, I believe it would get copied 4 times. Let's see, because we get doubled. I believe, actually, it would be 16, because if you look here, it says if a triggered ability of a color spell you control or another colorless permanent you control triggers, that ability triggers additional time. So they're going to trigger off of each other. So first there's going to be a copy. So it's going to copy the first one. That's going to turn into 2. And then it's going to copy it again. It's going to turn into 4. And then their triggers are going to copy each other. That's going to be 8. And then I believe 16. So I believe for each one that you cast, you'll get 16. Then if you do this one more time, you'll get 32. Correct my math in the comments if that's wrong, but I believe that's what it is, which would be super cool. And next we do have It That Betrays. It's just a good 11/11, and when an opponent sacrifices permanent, non-token permanent, you get that. So it's super crazy how that works. And it's yeah, it's a good card, especially if you have 16 of them. Next we have Cosmic's Unsealing. It is an uncommon, but basically you get 0/1s whenever you cast Eldrazi spells, and you can copy that with Ulalex abilities, and it's just really great. And then you can also draw 3 cards, which can turn into drawing 6 cards. And next we do have Kozilek, the Broken Reality. This one, basically, I put in here for the last ability, just giving your colorless things +3/+2, and just being great colorless synergy, and just being great overall. And the next Kozilek is mainly because the last ability too, whenever you cast you may discard a card with mana value X, and you counter target spell with mana value X. I've played this before. This dude is insane. You basically just, like, if you have enough cards in your hand, you just counter whatever you want, and it can just be insane. Next up, we have Null Elemental Blast. It's an uncommon, but this dude is a menace. He's crazy. He lets you destroy a multicolored permanent or destroy or counter target multicolored spell. And it's for only one colorless. This one is insane, and it has so much diversity, really being great. Yeah, but anyways, next we do have Ristic Study. Obviously, most of you probably know what that is. Basically, drawing a ton of cards. It's just always useful in basically any deck. It's just great. And moving on, not too much to say about that. We have Rise of the Eldrazi. This dude, I'm glad that it says it can't be countered, because if you pay 12 mana for this and it gets countered, that sucks. But anyways, you get to destroy a permanent, draw 4 cards, or make target player draw 4 cards, and you take an extra turn after this. So it can be really crazy. It just really fits the theme too, just because of the name, and also the picture, I guess, having all the Eldrazi Titans. But it can be super crazy, super cool. And we do have Roaming Throne. This is like, oh my gosh, there's so many doubling in this deck. This deck is going to take a lot of math. But basically, it just doubles your triggers of Eldrazi. You're probably going to want to pick Eldrazi. But it doubles the triggers. And then, yeah, it goes really well with the deck. And it's pretty cool. And keep in mind, if you have X of Turning out here, this will copy it. And you'll get 2 Roaming Thrones if you have one of them. And, yeah, it can be really cool. And Smothering Tithe, obviously, just generating tons of mana. Always useful. Along with Ristic Study, they're like the pair, kind of. And, this may seem weird, Temple of the False God, but there is a reason for this. It's, because there's one of the cards in there that, basically, this is strictly better. And, so, basically, just going to add this, because there's one that lets you tap for 2, but only if you have 7 or more. But this only requires 5. And then we do have Thran Dynamo, just a great mana rock, and just works really well. And we do have Zuladok, the Void Gorger. This dude giving your things with 7 or greater Cascade, which you can double that trigger. So you could be getting 4 Cascades or even more if you have X of Eternity or Roaming Throne or whatever. But honestly, just a really good card. You always want to find this. So that's going to be it for the add to deck list. But we are going to be looking at what to remove now. Because also to mention, this deck has super great mana base. It's probably like one of the best I've seen. Having all the pain lands is a super good deck base, making it super flexible, having the mana if you need it, and especially being a 5-color deck, letting it enter untapped. So, okay, this is now to take out of deck. We have 15 cards from here also. Starting off, we have Ancient Strings. It's, it would be good. It's a good card, but honestly, it's like, there's better cards that can put in there. And, yeah, they're just better. And, next we do have Angelic Aberration. It's one of those, basically lets you sacrifice your spawns or scions or whatever, and make 4/4s instead. I get this can be super useful, maybe end game kind of stuff, but you're going to want to save your spawns to sack it for mana, so that's the reason I took it out. And this was kind of hard. There are a couple cards that I'm like, I didn't really want to take out, but to make room for it, I, substituted it because there's better cards. And Dreamstone Hedron is one of those. I kind of substituted it with Thran Dynamo because it costs less, and I get you can sacrifice to draw 3 cards, but this deck doesn't really lack on card draw. It's pretty good with card draw, so yeah, that's right. And we do have Elder Deep Find over here. It doesn't like synergize that much. I get it's an Eldrazi, but basically like you just get to tap permanents. It does kind of synergize well because you can double it to tap 8 permanents, but anyways, it's just one of those that I took out. And this is Eldrazi Confluence. Is one of those that I would have kept, but then just needed room for other things. Basically, because it lets you can create 3 1/1s. So basically, if you have 4 mana and you're saving up for something, you can just save it for later, and that can be really cool. But that's one of them I took out just to make room because there's better cards. And Overflowing Chalice is just one I've never really liked because it's just, I get it's a mana rock, it could be useful, but then you're only getting half of what you paid. So for me, it's really one of those I don't really like to play in my decks. But yeah, and anyways, this Idol of Oblivion, you can draw a card, but only if you create a token this turn, which is kind of hard for this, except for, like Spawning Bet or whatever the one that lets you create one at your upkeep. And then you can sacrifice it, play 8 to create a 10/10. I don't think it's really worth it. It's just, there's better things that could be using it. It's kind of just wasting space. And we do have Kozilek's Return. This is basically, it's deals 2 damage to each creature. It can be like a board wipe. And then it can deal 7 damage. So I don't really like this one because it's kind of like a surprise one because it's in your graveyard, and then if you cast an Eldrazi spell, it can deal 5 damage to each creature. It's kind of strange. I don't really like it because you don't know where you're gonna be at that point, and it could have just ruined your whole game plan. It could be super annoying, but that's why I took that out. And this is the one I was talking about, Shrine of Forsaken Gods. I get that you can tap for colorless, but I feel like it's just better with Temple of the False God because it just honestly fits better in it. But that can be useful too. But it's so hard to get up to 7 lands that I would rather just have that one, Temple of the False God. And next we do have Sifter of Skulls. This one is just not very good because it really happens where they die, non-token creatures, because it can just be kind of annoying. If say you get 1 trigger off of it, it's not worth the 4 that you paid, and it's just meh. It doesn't work too well. And Suffer the Past really has like no synergy to this. I think they put this in here because the graveyard deck, but I just don't really like it, and it just doesn't fit well in this deck. And we do have Temple of Silence. This is like I kind of substituted Cavern of Souls for this, because there's no really point in scrying one in this deck. I mean, there's always a point in it, but there's no super benefit from it. But anyways, it can be good, but I just took it out because Cavern of Souls is better. And next we do have Yulimox's Crusher. This one is just an 8/8 with Annihilator 2, and he attacks each combat if able. That's the bad part. I'd rather there's just better cards that you could be paying 8 for, like Darksteel Monolith. Like, that's better, and you're getting a lot more value off it rather than just this big clunky dude that wants to just swing each turn. And next we do have Warping Wall. This is it's a very diverse one, but it just doesn't meet how far I wanted it to go. Because you can exile target creature with power toughness 1 or less. Like, that's not going to be very helpful in Commander, especially. That's not going to be your problem. But yeah, I don't know. And it also says counter target sorcery. That can be helpful, and you can create a 1/1, which it just doesn't really do too much for you in this deck. And the last one, we do have World Breaker. This dude is just a huge Eldrazi, but you can basically exile target artifact, enchantment, or land. He doesn't do all that much for 7 mana, and it's really, there's better cards I could be spending 7 mana on, and so I don't really need these cards. So anyways, this will hopefully be, if I can figure out how to get it in the description, there'll be a section to take out of the deck in here, and obviously the normal deck is just in here, and there will also be a section to add to the deck. Yeah, here. It'll be just at the top. So anyways, this is just like my upgrade guide for the Eldrazi Incursion deck, and it's really cool. I really like this this deck. It's one of my favorites for precons, but it definitely has a lot more potential once upgraded. And yeah, let me know if you guys have any suggestions. Feel free to change what you want, but it'll probably be in the description if you want to look at it. But yeah, not too much more to say. I think I'll be uploading about Assassin's Creed soon. But other than that, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.